Morning, everyone. Last week we obviously hosted Emergence, and it was really great to meet as many of you, during those 3 days. And if I didn't get to meet you, hopefully I'll get to see you at an upcoming event. What a hectic 3 days it was, and I'd just like to say, firstly, well done to a lot of you. You know, it was really great that the things that we covered in the pre-event briefing were really implemented from the majority of you. And you can see that the reason why we call emergence experience is because it really covers off a lot of different components. And it's not just about, as I mentioned, that presentation component. It's about the whole experience and making sure you network through the whole way. The other part, I think there's a couple of key things I want to cover in this video that I think are really super important. Number one, extracting value out of this opportunity. There's 3 layers in which you can do that. Obviously, number one, you're focusing on the investment aspect, right? And that's completely fine. The second and third ones are what I want to talk about. For a lot of you, you'll realize that from this conference that there's going to be a lot of different commercial opportunities. And then the third one is strategic opportunities as well. So I really encourage you to explore both of those with just the same amount of vigor and the same amount of passion as what you would the capital aspects, because really, ultimately, for a lot of companies, we've seen these strategic opportunities and these commercial opportunities transform their businesses. And the reality is they become future milestones going forward. So one of the hardest things that we all know as a founder is to get momentum. And a lot of the work that you guys have done over the last sort of 3 days at the conference have been really to create that momentum. So some of the feedback that I'll give everyone going forward is number one is to make sure that momentum continues. You know, over the next couple of weeks, make sure you do everything possible to set up first discussions, or even second or third discussions, however it is, with some of the people that you actually met at the conference, and continue that momentum. Now, the second thing I think is really important to do is to make sure that you communicate any significant updates in the next sort of 2 to 4 weeks, as far as your progress or milestones you've achieved. And it could even be something that you achieved, over the last month, but you may not have announced yet. Because one of the biggest things that investors like to see is momentum and traction. And so often as founders, we think that our idea is enough, but really it's sort of beyond that point. It's more about, okay, what are the traction and what are the milestones that you're ticking off? It's like, how are you executing on what you said that you were going to execute on? And there's some of the key things. So now that you've got this interest, now that you've got momentum, really make sure that execution part really comes to the forefront, because that's going to be the long-term difference. And as I showed, as I've been talking about in the capital raising videos, sometimes capital raising can look like, it starts out like that, but then often it's exponential the way it actually looks over a 2 to 3 year period. So whilst you're going to be doing a lot of work over the next sort of 2-4 weeks and even sort of 2 to 3 months, really just keep that in mind, that your continued execution is really about building that sort of milestone that you keep on attracting, and then you'll watch the exponential potential for both your capital raising and your business start to unfold. So once again, it was great having you all at Emergence. I really enjoyed it. And look, we're only going to be doing 2 big conferences per year. Because as you can see, it's a logistical feat pulling that off, and it's also a marketing feat as well. To attract who we're able to attract, and to navigate variations of COVID and navigate floods and all the different things that we had to navigate as a team as part of it. And, if you also get the opportunity as well, please make sure to give that recognition to your CS team member or any WI team members that you felt sort of contributed to you over the sort of 3 days and even in the lead up to the event. I said, we're all passionate about what we do. We love helping people. You would have seen that at the actual event. As far as everything that our team was doing to try and improve or empower your experience as part of Emergence. So thank you again. Really enjoyed having you. And now make sure you make the most of it.